Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss everything in the mad, wonderful world of Tottenham Hotspur, it's Stefan.
If you would like to put the roller coaster of supporting Tottenham Hotspur into about 4 days.
Yeah.
This week. Yeah, this week is very much up there with what it's like to be a Tottenham fan.
In terms of results, definitely.
Oh, yeah, wow.
We got a packed show, so I'm going to dive straight in with the first topic, which is we are out of the League Cup.
Yep.
On our last show, discussed, the selection, and I've talked about whenever a new manager's in, you always got these little, tests, before international breaks and stuff like that. Are they going to be able to fix the little things that have gone wrong? When we rotate heavily, we'll decide still look cohesive or not. And one of the things I said about the League Cup is, we're going to know where our priorities are. Are we chasing a trophy this season, or are we chasing league finish? And I think we got our answer by that selection and that performance.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
How do you feel about the League Cup and exiting it? Because I'll be honest, everything I saw online was very split. A lot of people just said they didn't care. But then I'm more in the camp of wanting to win stuff. And so I was disappointed we didn't target it, to be honest. What about you?
Whenever I look at the League Cup, I think all you've got to do is look at what it meant to Newcastle last season.
Yeah.
Look at how a manager like Pep and his squad attack the League Cup every season.
Yeah.
And then question why Spurs fans who, the one trophy in 18 years think, League Cup doesn't matter.
Do you think...
every trophy matters. Every trophy you want to have your name on the bottom of.
Do you think that the fans saying that genuinely don't care about it, or do you think it's that, we're out of it now, so it didn't matter anyway, that girl rejected me, so yeah, she's ugly anyway, whatever.
Yeah, I think very much that is the problem.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because
we win it and it's a cup. Who cares? You lose it. Who gives a damn?
Polynesian Dan, our admin, he was very much of the same mindset, which is it's disappointing because it's a trophy there to win. In reality, and I don't think many people are going to argue with this, I don't think we're going to win the Champions League. I don't think we're competitive in that competition to win it. I don't think we're competitive in the Premier League to win the title. So of the 4 competitions available, 2 of them we're in, but probably barring some insane set of circumstances, we're not really challenging for those 2. And that leaves you with the 2 domestic cup competitions of the League Cup and the FA Cup to actually lift silverware this season. So we've now got 1, basically, the FA Cup. And those cup competitions, it is a lot the luck of the draw. It really is. Newcastle away midweek is a tough draw to get. Them being the holders and obviously not wanting to relinquish it. But I think the thing that got to me a little bit about this is I look around in the teams we're facing and our kind of league position rivals, which I would include Newcastle in, which is not necessarily top 4, but pushing into that top 4.
It's the definite top 6 target. Can we get the top 4 as well?
Yeah, and with Newcastle, they made 8 changes for our game. Can you
Crikey.
That?
I didn't realise it was that many.
Yeah. So from the league game previously, it was 8 changes. Now, I think maybe a couple of them were players sort of coming back in that had been rotated naturally, but still, that is a massive change game to game. And it is exactly that sort of thing that when we do it, our team just seems to fall over their own feet. You know, it's like...
Yeah, who are you?
It's like they've never met before. It's bizarre. And yet Newcastle made 8 changes and played us off the park. Like, really, we weren't in that game.
Yeah.
The thing that concerned me in that game was, like, we had moments. Like, we lost the game 2-0. But we had these, like, moments where things were clicking a little bit in attack. And I was thinking, okay, what I've been looking for this whole start to this season is some, like, you know, grassroots, some sort of possibility coming through, some, you know, green shoots, as it were. But even in those sort of like moments that we were kind of being dealt with quite easily, it was bizarre. Like, I really didn't think we were actually in the game. Like, we had like a couple of moments, but it just never felt like we really competed in that game.
Yeah, we never matched them, I don't think, at any point.
No, which is incredible.
And that was very disappointing.
Yeah, it is incredibly disappointing, and I think the thing that gets to me the most about that is this feeling of the squad, a big chunk of the fan base, and clearly the management didn't care about the League Cup. That's how it comes across. And
yeah.
I would get the impression, like, me and you both play Football Manager, the game. And in Football Manager, you have this, for anyone who doesn't play it, anyone who does, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Start of every season, you're in charge of Tottenham, you're the manager, and the board will say to you, right, this season we want you to finish in the top 6, we want you to challenge, we want you to win the FA Cup, we don't care about the League Cup. And, like, that's how it felt. You know, it felt like whoever was in charge of Thomas Frank basically said to him at the start of this season, right, get through to the next round of the Champions League, get us into the top 4 of the Premier League, try and win that FA Cup, and the League Cup, whatever.
League Cup, if you get on a run, you get on a run. Yeah. If you don't, meh.
Now, Ange last season prioritised trying to win something. And he targeted the League Cup, he targeted the Europa League. And he lost his job over it, because due to the massive injury crisis, the league form was atrocious. But he did target, like, he named teams and squads as best he could for those cups, sacrificing league games. What do you think to the mentality? Because he did lose his job over that, which is kind of there's this revisionist history now where everyone's like, yeah, that many defeats, of course he had to lose his job, we were crap. So no, we weren't crap. We were just injury ravaged beyond belief, and they prioritised trying to win something.
Yeah, that was a very clear, this is what we are aiming for this season.
Yeah.
And they did it. And
they did, yeah. And now, don't get me wrong, you get knocked out by Frankfurt or Bodo Glimt and you don't make that final, or you lose that final to Man United, then you will go down in history as the worst Tottenham manager in Premier League history anyway, for sure.
Yes.
However,
we did win that.
Exactly, and we did. You know, we got to the semi-final of the League Cup. We did win the Europa League. So there is this weird thing, like, in my head, like, I can't... That season is just last year. And from my point of view, where we finished in the league and the games are already fading fast. It is. That Europa League win, the parade, and that feeling around those days afterwards, they're going to be with me for the rest of my life.
Because that was kind of like the moments of, we've done it. Like, this is everything that we want as Spurs fans.
Yeah.
We want to be winning trophies. And we won a trophy, and we got to experience what it's like to have a parade.
Yeah.
you know, and all this sort of thing again. So yeah, like instantly, he will be remembered forever for me as a legend for doing that for this club.
Yeah, I mean, so my point of view has always been like supporting a club is about more than trophies, and I do stand by that. The Pochettino era, watching us play every single week, is still one of my favourite eras as being a fan, because I felt like every week we were going to win. It didn't matter who we were playing, home or away. He had us in a level of consistency I'd never seen before or since.
And we were playing good football.
Yeah. It was all very, very so. We didn't win anything in that period. We came bloody close, but that is still locked in my brain. It's just a period of time watching us that I loved. Yep. And so I do feel that like winning stuff is not the be all and end all football fandom. I get that, but that feeling of winning the Europa League and the days that follow with the parade, etc. I'd be hard pressed, I think, to find another Spurs fan who wouldn't want to do that again this year. Like, obviously we're not in the League Cup now, but if, winning the FA Cup, for example, the first time we would have won it since 1991. It would be a massive, massive thing to follow up the Europa League with another trophy the following season. Huge for the club.
Oh, that makes them like serial winners, and all of a sudden, all the agenda changes completely.
It does, but just sort of looking at it, just like we would have another parade. We would have there is that for me is kind of where my mind's at now. Just before we move on to the next shit show, what if I said to you we're going to finish 8th in the Premier League, or like mid-table, 10th, 9th or 8th, that sort of region. We're going to get knocked out of the Champions League soon, when the group phase finishes, or the playoff round or whatever, but we're going to win the FA Cup. Would you be happy with that season?
8th place in the FA Cup? Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
10th place in the FA Cup?
I'd be very happy with the FA Cup. FA Cup gives us a European football next season, doesn't it?
Yeah, back in the Europa League, baby.
Fucking 15th in the FA Cup.
Yeah. Back in the proper competition. Europa League me up.
Yeah, boy.
I do think the Europa League theme's a banger anyway. So we're now going to move on to the Chelsea horror show. We had a Halloween special. I didn't realise the football club were going to give me a Halloween special as well.
Oh boy, did they.
So,
wow.
There's an interesting thing about doing this podcast, is every now and again you'll share an opinion on something and everyone will call you names for sharing it. And then over time, like people's opinions change on stuff, and that's fine. Mine does all the time. But over time, I noticed the same people who gave me shit for what I said are suddenly messaging me, oh yeah. And it's like, so right at the very start, I said, and here's another thing as well, is people seem to think that it makes me happy if I'm being proven right.
No.
Cannot stress how far from the truth that is. So when I got a message after the Chelsea game going, everything you said about Thomas Frank was right, you must be happy. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no, not happy. No.
What I expressed were like my concerns. These are the things that are in my head. I don't really like him, but that's just I just can't warm to the guy. That's immaterial. But these are the things I've seen. These are the things that worry me. It's a 4 competition season. He's never managed it. I rattled off like a load of things, and everyone told me I was an idiot, which is fine. He's working with better... And here's the thing that does make me laugh. I was told that, yeah, he's only ever achieved mid-table in the Premier League, but now he's working with better players, so you can't judge him on that. I was like, okay, alright. And now I'm being told the players at Tottenham aren't good enough, and he had better players at Brentford. I don't know what to say to that. Like,
is it the first option or is it the second option?
but it's the same people saying it to me, and they're like,
I
they're
know.
doing it without even the hint of irony. Like, oh yeah, but he's trying to get goals out of Tell and Odegaard, and last season he had Mbomo and Wissa, and I'm like, yeah, okay, Mbomo and Wissa are good, but like, you can't say to me, oh, you'll do better than mid-table because you'll have better players at Tottenham, and then tell me that they're not. Like, it doesn't.
These are the same players that told us all of last season that injuries do not matter.
Yeah.
Because you need to have plan Bs and work with what you've got. Yeah. And are now telling us that it's unfair to look at how Thomas Frank is doing at the moment because he's got some injuries to big players.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting thing as well because...
I love those guys.
well, it's an interesting thing as well because I think once again there's that you revise history in your mind, and our reality is shaped largely by pundits. We didn't bomb it down the league until Christmas time. Like, Tottenham were up there. We weren't like fighting the relegation spots until everything really hit home, and then Ange prioritised the cups because he looked at the bottom three and went, we ain't going down. Like, they are locked in. Like, we are going to shift and make a priority. My target for this season was to win something and get Champions League. I can do that with one competition. And that's what he did. And that, you know, there's going to be so many books written and stuff in time, but there are already a comprehensive amount of interviews out there with Matt Wells, Ryan Mason, who's at West Brom now, and various other people who just make it abundantly clear that's what they did. And you now got this kind of, again, revisionist thing of like, yeah, well, Thomas Frank is light years ahead because we're not exactly fighting relegation and he's dealing with injuries. And I'm like, well, we weren't to start with. It wasn't until it got so friggin' ridiculous and bad we just started losing games left, right and centre.
Yeah. It was only when we kind of decided, right, no, this is now the priority. This is it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at there was I think, apologies if I get this wrong slightly, but it was a 2-month period. There's now basically November, December, and then into early January. So a lot of games. We all know this time of year there was a lot of games. We were missing Vicario, Romero, Udogi, and Van der Ven. I mean, if you took them out of our team right now, and by the way, Vicario is clearly struggling with an injury right now, and is largely the reason why we only lost to Chelsea 1-0.
Yeah, he had a fantastic game.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, that, like I said, the Chelsea horror show, I'm dubbing it, because that was the most abjectly awful performance I've seen in a long time. A long time.
Yeah.
There's
no doubt.
Polynesian Dan loves the XG stat. I have constantly called it bollocks. Constantly. The main reason being is I'm old and I don't really get it. It's new. It's not even that new anymore. It's like been around since like 2016, 17 as like a metric that you're using.
Christ, it's been that long?
Oh yeah, because it's like because the reason why...
I mean, I have no memory now, like pre-COVID. I'm like, no, it's been since then, surely.
The reason I know that is because once that game finished against Chelsea and I saw this XG stat tweeted out by Opta that we just posted the worst XG rating in the history of the statistic in the Premier League, I thought, I really need to find out if this is relevant. Like, everyone's talking about it. I've been shitting on this as a metric for a long time. I actually have a friend who's a professional football scout. He's worked for various clubs. I went to school with him. And so I thought, you know what? I'm not bothered with this. But he's probably the best person to ask. Like, is this relevant? Like, do football, like real football people care about this? Or is this armchair quarterbacking kind of football fans?
Just a media thing, yeah.
And he explained it to me as, like, and it's funny because me and you talk about this on a different show we do, which is entertainment, and we had a chat about Moneyball recently, the film. And he was talking to me about how statistical analysis in sport has changed massively over the last decade, 15 years, largely because of that scenario in US baseball where a team put together a side that everyone thought was going to be absolutely awful, but they worked purely on the statistics of what they could do, not what they couldn't, and it worked brilliantly. And he said, so
we're going to sell a striker for 100 million, and we're going to replace his goals with 3 players that can all do the same thing for less money.
You're exactly right. So he was talking about, he said, so the XG statistic, and I posted a really good explanation on our page the other day, the Facebook page. He was basically like, the expected goals, XG, he said, is a metric where you've got all of this data available. So if Son Heung-min goes through one-on-one with a Manchester City goalkeeper, you know that 9 times out of 10, Sonny in that situation scores based on the data that exists.
It does, however, not take into effect where Arsenal are in the league.
Exactly. So there is,
and what that result.
So exactly, there is a variable. There are variables. But the point is, the whole metric is designed based on all the data that exists. Teams that create this many chances typically score this many goals. So it is a data-driven statistic based on formulaic information. So, like anything that is statistics and data-driven, it is, like you just said then, there are going to be outliers that just will not fit in. Sonny, we all know, missed on purpose. No problem at all with that. He made it look like he wanted to score, but we all know he didn't. That's fine. Love the guy, forever a legend.
Yeah.
It denied them the title, put us in the Europa League, and then we went on to win it. The best sliding doors moment ever.
Holy crap, yeah, isn't it, Chuck? Wow, yeah.
So I look at this statistic. Now, what it's basically saying is, from the chances you are creating, you should score these goals. That is your actually expected goals.
Yeah.
We created so little in the game that Chelsea created a higher XG after 90 minutes than we did in the entirety of the match. So in injury time, after 90 minutes, their expected goals, due to the chances they were creating in that tiny period of time, was higher than what we did in the entire 90 minutes previous.
That is shocking.
It's damning. It's
and at the same time, you have to remember, this was a home match.
Yeah. Where the fan reaction in the game was to boo.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, from my own personal point of view, I always find that tough. Because I can't ever get on board with booing your own players. It doesn't feel right to me.
No, I can honestly say, of all the games I've been to at White Hart Lane, at this stadium, England games at Wembley, that sort of thing, I have never booed the team I'm there to support. Yeah. I've never booed a player. I've booed the referee a few times and an opposition player, but I've never booed one of my team.
Yeah.
And I think there was a match I went to where I think I booed the manager, but that was Tim Sherwood, so it doesn't count.
No, that's fine. You're allowed to boo Tim Sherwood.
I believe I was at a match and he was sat in the stands watching the match.
Yeah, he walks into his room, his own family boo, so that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've never booed. I don't understand that. Like,
I watched an
interview
with Tim Sherwood the other day where once again he is taking sole responsibility for Harry Kane. The revisionist bullshit that comes out of that guy's mouth is unbelievable.
It's so good.
He's claiming not to be a gooner now as well. Like, oh yeah, my dad was an Arsenal fan, but not me. I was Tottenham. Shut up, Tim. We all know.
Yeah, too late, bastard.
Tim, nice but dim. But anyway, do you know one of the funniest days on Twitter I ever had was he did for a Football Manager game years ago. So it was like Football Manager 20 or something. He did a Q&A.
Oh, yeah.
He got fucking eviscerated. Every question was just like, is there an option in the game to wear a ghillie and look like a twat? Is there an option in the game to be a director of football that takes over the team at half time because you don't like the coach? Like, he got slaughtered. It was amazing. It's just the best fun I've had. Like, yeah. Anyway, going back to the Chelsea horror show, I cannot express how disappointed I was because, and I said on Twitter afterwards, and I got a lot of stick for it. I posted that picture of when we were playing Chelsea. We were down to 9 men and we were 2-1 down, and we held a line on the halfway line, trying to get back in the game, and we nearly made it 2-2, if you remember.
Yeah, there was the Sonny chance that if that had gone in, changed the game.
Then they scored 2 late goals. Well, we're probably knackered at that point, and the game ends 4-1 rather than 2-2. But our fans applauded us off the pitch.
Yep. The fourth goal went in and they started singing, I want to be in that number.
Yeah, like, I cannot express to people, seemingly I can't get this through to people's thick skulls. They're like, so you'd rather lose 4-1 than lose 1-0? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Forget the score.
I'd rather draw 0-0 than lose, but...
like, I'd rather not lose. The point I'm trying to make is, if I am going to lose, because that can happen in sport, I want to go down swinging. I want to actually make an effort to score a goal, to actually put in a tackle, to actually do something, to look like I give a shit. In that game against Chelsea, and I'm not going to pick on any individuals, but as a team, collectively, Vicario aside, they did nothing. Like, no kicks in anger, no shots from anger, nothing. They collectively were appalling to a man. I'd like to think they know that, but sometimes I think that footballers are in such a bubble that they're just like, oh, it was a bad day. It was friggin' awful. Like, that is up there.
There was no one... apart from Vicario, to be fair, I don't think anyone else on that pitch could come off thinking, I gave it a go today.
And the one thing I'd say about the Vicario thing as well is that what choice did he have? And what I mean by that is, like, a lot of the other players had chances to hide in that game, and they did. Vicario literally didn't. He was getting bombarded with shots, like, left, right, and centre. He had to be at it non-stop. Or that game would have gone even worse. Now, all the stats from that game are atrocious. They really are. There's not one that you look at and think, oh, wow, at least that, there's some redemption there. Everything I feared, everything that I was worried about, all got thrown together in that game.
Yeah.
So the most insane statistical analysis I saw, though, is that there was a comparison made between that game and a Manchester United game where we lost 3-0. Now, do you remember that game? Because a manager famously lost his job straight after it.
Oh, yep. Yep.
We don't talk about no. We don't talk about no.
I'm about to talk about Nuno. So, Nuno Espirito Santo was in charge. We'd had a kind of rocky start to the season. He started with 3 wins in a row, 1-0, then lost 3-0. Then it was up and down all over the place. The football was drab. It wasn't great. We then played against Manchester United, where we were awful.
That's it. I remember he took off Lucas Moura and got chance of you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, and that was it. That was the moment. Paolo Ticci in an interview later said he got up from his seat, listening to the fans do that, and made the decision in that moment. He was gone.
Yeah.
He got up from his seat, walked to Daniel Levy, and basically said to him, "We got to make a change. This isn't working.
Yeah, game over.
It just isn't working. Like we wanted it to, it's not." So, if I said to you that by every metric except for goals conceded, we were statistically worse against Chelsea, what would you say to that?
Having watched that match, I could well believe it.
Having watched both games, I remember that Manchester United game as being awful and abject. But when I looked at this analysis done between the two games, we conceded 3 goals, but other than that, we were actually in the game. Like, we were creating chances and stuff. We had possession of the ball for long periods. Against Chelsea,
Yep.
we surrendered the ball constantly. We gave it away. Like I said, every single metric. So Vicario, with the number of saves he made, again, there's this a statistic called key saves now, which is ones where the striker, typically, again, via XG in the statistics, in that exact same position, scores more often than the keeper saves it. So if the keeper does save it, it's classed as a key save because really the striker should score. The keeper's done very well in that instance. He made 5. So what? Again, this is purely statistical, but I mean, all of us watching the game will know this. Statistics are saying to us then that game could have quite easily, with Vicario having a bad day, or perhaps Vicario was injured, wasn't on. That game's 6-0. So I've got a question for you. Under Daniel Levy, I am confident to a degree that if we'd played that way, with that, and imagine the fan reaction at 6-0, like the walking out. Like, we lost that game 1-0, and it sounded like people in that stadium were ready to rip the place apart. Imagine we played like that, but lost 6-0. I'm telling you, under Daniel Levy, Thomas Frank is fired that night. I am confident in saying that because of what I've seen in the past under Daniel Levy. Like, he would have looked at that, watched that game, and just gone, no, it is not working.
You know what? I completely agree. If we had lost at that sort of scoreline, I don't even think he would have made it down the tunnel.
No, I think he'd have gone full Marinakis on his ass. Now, what is interesting to me, again, about the club now is I have no idea about this board. I've got no idea about the Lewis family. We literally now have no metric to know how bad something would need to be for them to act. Like, would we need to be battling relegation? Would they still not? Like, we have no idea.
It's a really kind of weird situation for us as a club to be in because, like you say, especially as the fans, we have no idea at what point the board are going to pull a trigger.
Nope.
Like, for all we know, we could get to the end of the season and let's say we finish 5th place, end of the season, no trophies.
Yeah.
The board could turn around and go, okay, so we're back in the Europa League. We should be able to win that next season. Let's push on for top 4. Here's 200 million, go spend it.
Yeah.
They could also turn around and go, we want to win trophies. You've not won a trophy.
Yeah.
You've not challenged for the title. Yeah. We're not in the Champions League. You're gone after one season.
Yeah.
Like, we genuinely have no idea
No.
how they're going to act. And part of me, like, that's really cool. The other part of me, like, that's terrifying. We genuinely don't know what they're going to do.
It just makes it very interesting. And it's also, from our point of view, going to be interesting because it's going to tell us a lot about what they really want. Like, I've said to you that the whole Lewis family ownership is just a rebrand. It is the same people who own the club today as did the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
So it is a rebrand. Daniel Levy has gone, so that is a massive change, but it is just a rebrand on the ownership. Now, what that ownership are saying publicly now is we want to win, we're putting money in, and they have. But the proof is going to be in how we act in the transfer market. You know, January's coming up fast. How we then react to what's going on the pitch. Because, like I said, Vicario aside, that was abjectly awful. And like I said, if you took him out and we did lose that game 5-0, 6-0, which, by the way, was not unreasonable given that performance. Jamie Carragher described it as a League 2 team facing a top Premier League side in the FA Cup. And he's not wrong. And it's at our frigging stadium. Like that.
At our stadium, and genuinely, that's kind of how it looked.
It was awful. It was really awful. Now, as maddening as that was, and I'm still reeling from it and angry from it, this time of year the games come thick and fast. So last night we played Copenhagen at home. I'm just going to...
Yeah.
The fans voted with their feet, by the way. Our stadium capacity is over 60,000, and last night I think it was 48,000 attended.
48, I think it was, yeah.
Roughly.
The cheapest ticket last night,
Yeah.
they said, the cheapest ticket was 60-odd quid.
They have priced the games awfully. Like, I've said this for a while, and I'm kind of delighted that fans have shown their displeasure at this. I imagine a lot of people who didn't go last night are now kicking themselves, but given that performance against Chelsea, given the price, given this like Tuesday night, I'm not surprised. Like, we're in the Champions League. We should be selling out that stadium, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, like a Champions League game, we should be sold out stadium, ridiculous amount of noise, just an incredible atmosphere.
Yeah, but I mean...
And instead the camera went round and it was like, oh my God, there's like thousands of seats empty.
Yeah. I mean, the new leadership at Tottenham Hotspur have got an easy, immediate way of winning good PR with the fans. We saw last night so many people not attending the game. We've immediately reviewed pricing, and the next, like, we've changed the category. Like, you have got an opportunity straight away to get goodwill. I can't believe in my heart of hearts they like the idea of 10,000 odd seats being empty. Because even if you take away that ticket, even if they thought to themselves, oh, you know, I'd rather have 10,000 sat empty than 10,000 people in there for 20 quid each or whatever, you got to remember that the vast majority made at Tottenham Hotspur home games now is from the bars, the restaurants, and that's all club income.
Yep.
Like,
so you get a £20 ticket, but they then go and spend another £20 at the bar.
Because that's the other thing that like people are saying. It's like, yeah, okay, 60 quid ticket. It's cost me 40 quid, the various travel and stuff to get. It's cost me 40 quid when I'm in there just to have something to eat and a drink. Like, it's a lot of money. And after watching how shit we've been at home for so long, I'm sort of pleased to see people voting with their feet, but at the same time, it's deeply disappointing. You know, it's a real combination of abject shittery from everyone involved that happened. But what wasn't abjectly shit was our win. Copenhagen, I said to you before the game, like, we need to win this game. Like, looking at the Champions League, looking at the fixtures and stuff, if we really want to try and get through, we need to win this game. Like, we've slipped up a little. We need to win this one.
Massive. Now, I must be honest, I was so pissed at the Chelsea game that until you reminded me, I had actually forgot we were playing last night.
Yes, I know. You're. I mean, to be fair, you're probably just looking forward to the Man United game because, you know, that's the team you love and stuff like that. So you were probably just looking ahead to that and not really.
Is it time yet? Is it time? No. But no, it did make me kind of chuckle. It's like, oh, you watching the match tonight? And my first instinct was the Liverpool-Real Madrid game because that's the one that they've been talking about everywhere.
By the way, who won that?
Liverpool 1-0.
Ah, fair play. I saw Bayern beat PSG. But yeah.
I like that. Luis Diaz with 2 goals and a red card in the first half.
Well, speaking of scoring and a red card...
My boy!
What did you think about Brennan? I stand by what you said, which is he's the best finisher at the club, seemingly.
Yep. Play him as a number 9 in a couple of games.
Took that goal brilliantly.
Yep. He was helped by their goalkeeper thinking that he could win a foot race.
Yeah, but that angle was still ridiculous.
The angle that he scored from was fantastic.
And to do it that confidently when he'd not scored in 8-9 games, That's his first ever Champions League goal. I was impressed by that. I was really impressed by that goal.
He was actually having quite a good game.
He did get sent off. What? Because I saw you in the group chat really kicking off about this. You don't think that's a red card?
I was surprised that it. So, for me, it's a mistimed challenge, but we saw challenges worse than that.
Yeah.
During the match, that didn't get anything at all.
I'm not sure.
What annoys me the absolute most is that when VAR say, "Yep, go to the screen,"
yeah,
and you go, "Okay," and they head to the screen, and what they've done is they've got a still image,
yeah,
on that screen of him when he gets there, and they are such bias in that. Like, they've put a still image of his boot in that position.
Yeah.
It looks bloody awful.
But that's what it was, though.
But they took the entire context out of it. Like, he didn't go in with his boot that high. If you watch, his heel literally hits the turf and bounces up.
But he does.
So you could say he wasn't in full control of his foot, yes.
Yeah. And the studs are
there's
up.
context to all of it.
But there's context
and
to everything.
So much when they go to VAR, the VAR choose that still image that looks the worst part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's what the referee sees straight away. And I think it's just bollocks. They say, oh, the referee has gone to the screen to make up his mind. No, he hasn't. He's gone to the screen to be shown what VAR want him to see so that he agrees with VAR.
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying in that, but at the same time, the reality is his studs were up and it did make contact with the player's leg. He went in, like, if you go by the letter of the rules, like, you go by what the rule is around that, that's a red card. Mm-hmm. It just is. Like, there's no... Like, I personally don't agree with it. I personally don't think he went in maliciously, but that's not... Like, the intent isn't... That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, that's completely irrelevant. I know from, like, decisions I've seen there, I've seen worse that just gets nothing, especially in the Premier League. Like, against Chelsea, there were
Joe
challenges.
Linton the other day when he
Joe Linton basically, like,
his
karate kicked around, like, it's like into his frigging hamstrings and just gets a yellow. It's insanity that there's that level of discrepancy. But the whole VAR debate around that, like, being showed a still image, I get what you're saying, but, I mean, surely whether they show him that to begin with or they show him that at the end, it doesn't make a difference.
I just don't think they should be showing a still image. I think it should be, when he gets to the screen, it's the start of whatever move action it was that the tackle happened in. Show it in replays, show it in slow motion, I guess.
But that's going to do the same thing. Like, it's...
It just frustrates me that you go to a screen and they've already put the image there.
This is where, for me, I don't understand the screen thing. Like, if you are a referee, which they are, and you're watching the VAR screen, so you are the VAR referee, and you've looked at that and you've gone, yeah, that's a red card. I've looked at it, it's a red card. Why bother going to the screen? Why not just, fourth official's been in my ear, he's reviewed this isn't a yellow, it's a red, get off.
Yeah, there's no point in going.
That speed things up. Like, and again, I always look at other sports. In rugby, that's exactly how it works. They're in constant communication. And, like, so the VAR referee would be in his ear, say, like, you know... Because the other thing as well is, like, the VAR nonsense of what is VAR reviewable and what isn't. So, like, you see situations on a regular basis, for example, where a team will win a corner and it's not a corner. And the referee's not seen it and it's not a corner. And the team might score or something and people go batshit. That's literally a second. VAR, that's not a corner, change it. Oh, no. You know, in my ear, it's not a corner, it's goal kick.
Yeah, see, that is exactly what it should be used for.
It's seamless.
You know?
It's speedy. It's fast. If you have otherwise, what's the point of having referees sat in the VAR room? I could do it. You could do it. Anyone could. Just like, oh, there's a clip of this. Go take a look. Like, what are you doing? You're just a glorified director. Just like, oh yeah, you might want to change your mind on this. Have a quick look. Like, it's fucking pointless. The referee on the pitch can only do so much. If you are adding technology, which by the way, I'm still not convinced is a good thing, but if you are adding technology, add the friggin' technology. Have a fourth match. Like, this is your video assistant referee. This is a referee looking at the game and saying that's wrong, change it. That's wrong, change it. Like off the ball, like number 9 just decked, number 7 stop the frigging game. Like it is not rocket science that, like, if the linesman can do it, like, because they're supposed to do this stuff, like stick the flag up, oh ref, you missed this, or no, trust me, I'm stood right here, the ball went off that player, it's a goal kick, whatever, then just make it so, like, if you're adding technology, make it. But yeah, I mean, to me, unfortunately, it is a red card. I think it's one of those where he hasn't gone in to do the player, but it was stupid, to be honest with you. He didn't need to make that challenge.
No, I agree with that. The challenge itself wasn't needed.
So it's just frustrating to me. And like you said, he was having a good game. Now, we had not long gone 2-0 up, which is good. So when that happened, there was that feeling, and you kind of feel it in the stadium a little bit as well, of like, ooh, this could go wrong. Like, ooh, no, this is where we've
been here before.
Yeah, and then something happened. I'm just gonna play a little clip.
By Polina. He's a good man to bring on in a situation like this. Now off goes Van der Ven. What a run! Brilliant from Mickey Van der Ven. Can he go all the way? Van der Ven! Oh, that's brilliant!
Now, by the way, the noise of that hitting the net is just like crack to me. So that is something else. Mickey Van der Ven scored what I believe will be the Puskas Award winner.
I think it has to be.
Goal of the season, like, territory. If your centre back can do that, Jesus. Our top goal scorer, by the way. I mean,
that was one of those moments. So it reminded me of when Son scored his goal.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But you know, it was the moment of he got himself into the box.
Yeah.
And there was no doubt in my mind at all.
Yeah.
That was going in.
Oh, fair play.
You know, when you just get to that point where he has managed to run that far, and you're like, yeah, there's no way this now doesn't. There's no way this doesn't now go in the back of the net.
I mean, you have far greater faith in
I think it's just it was based purely on that kind of, if you can get that far, surely it goes in.
Well, yeah, you'd be knackered though, wouldn't you? Like sprinting all that way. But
I couldn't sprint that way if I tried.
No, I like try and sprint that far with the ball. Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I did like the analogy. Joe Hart on commentary, by the way, is brilliant, and I want him to do every Tottenham game.
He is very good.
But his analogy of like watching the older kid dribble past all the younger kids on the playground really made me laugh. That is,
like, come on, you're in the way.
Yeah, that is how that looked. That alone is going to go down as a memory. Like, I'm never going to forget that goal. That was friggin' insane. Mickey Van der Ven, take a bow. That was, like, he has that ability in him. What made me laugh is we've gone down to 10 men, and Mickey's done that. And he's in the interview after, he's like, yeah, there was space ahead of me, so I started bringing the ball, and then there was still space, so I just kept going. And then I got past someone and I just kept going. And then I realised, oh, look where I am. It's like...
Yeah, oh crap, I'm in the box.
And then, like you said, like, you absolutely friggin' levered it. Like, you scored brilliantly. That finish was striker level. That was unbelievable.
I mean, maybe not our strikers, but it was definitely striker level.
Real strikers, like proper ones. Like,
real strikers.
Like Dane Scarlett level, which I'm going to come on to because I'm still pissed about this.
Yes.
And then, I mean, the celebration, I mean, it just, there's also a funny thing, if you watch this clip, which I'm sure you'll find anywhere and everywhere today, at least 2 of our players have got their hands on their heads when he goes through, like, absolute
Like,
shock.
holy
Yeah,
shit.
they're just in absolute kind of like, oh my god, he's going to do it. And then it scores and they just friggin' lose their minds. It's brilliant. Vicario, by the way, ran the length of the pitch to celebrate. He ain't that injured.
With a pulled hamstring.
Yeah. Did you think... Yeah, because he has been struggling with an injury. But Joe Hart was like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with him. Tottenham just had a player sent off and he's just stalling for time while he reorganise. And
I must be honest, I did think that. When he went down straight after it, I was like,
I'm like...
that is genius.
Because I'm like, no, that's like we're too friggin' nice and pansy for dark arts stuff. But no, Joe Hart is just like, oh, he's back up. He said, and Kinski just got off the bench, walked around and went back down. If it was a real injury, he'd been warming up like crazy. I'm like, all right, Joe, jeez, letting us in on all the secrets. Bloody hell. And like, the commentator was like, well, I completely bought it. And Joe's like, yeah, well, you would.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, love it. So, yeah, that was all good.
It was great, just the way he was like, no. Yeah, he did legit. Kingsley got up, looked around, sat down again. It was like, it's fine.
Yeah, Joe's like, yeah, he needs to work on that, like to sell it properly. He needs to do more. I'm just like laughing my head off, like, all right, fair enough, Joe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we won the game 4-0. Could have been more. We missed a number of chances. Kolo Moani, I thought, was excellent, but he missed a couple of chances. Richie came on and continued to miss every opportunity given to him. I will say I felt he was unlucky with his header that hit the bar. I think he did everything right in that instance. The height on it and everything, he was just very unlucky. It bounced down and out. I described it as at the moment he could fall. Well, actually, I'm not going to use that analogy on the podcast.
No.
But yeah, no, he didn't. He then didn't cover himself in glory for me.
No.
Dane Scarlett comes on, brilliant cameo, wins us a penalty. Purely from his hard work, ingenuity, wins us a penalty.
I've got to say, Dane Scarlett came on and once again impressed.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's coming into a game 4-0 up, not long left against tired players, so let's not go crazy. But he did come on and do very well, which to me reinforces my feeling that let's give him some minutes. Let's give him the opportunity and see what he does with it. He's 21. Anyway, so Dane does that. He wins a penalty. Now, obviously, at the club, we will have penalty takers designated by seniority.
Yep.
Richie is the number 9 on the pitch in that moment, so Richie probably is the penalty taker in that moment. I get completely in his mind when he sees we've won a penalty, he's probably thinking to himself, "Oh, I can score. I can get this frigging monkey off. Like, this is my opportunity to bury this and, like, you know, shake this feeling that I can't score in a brothel." You know, I get that completely.
Yeah.
But there is a moment where Dane walks up to him, is like, you know, "I want it. Can I have it?" And Richie just literally dismisses him, like, no, fuck off. And he then misses it.
Danso has to come over.
Yeah.
Danso comes over and calms Dane down.
Now,
Because Dane looked pissed.
well,
And I can understand it. You're on your Champions League debut.
yeah, you're 21.
You're 3-0 up, or 4-0
Yeah.
up. And you've just come on and made the move that gets a penalty.
Like Richie had the opportunity in that moment to be quite
To
smart.
be to Scarlett what Maddison was to Richarlison last year.
Yeah, he had the opportunity to do something good there, and he acted quite selfishly.
And mucked it up.
And yeah, and then like those stuttering run up bullshit, like I can't stand it. I really can't.
No.
The minute he did that, I went, he's gonna miss, and he did. It really.
At no point in that did he actually look like he's going to score this penalty.
I mean, it's frustrating. I like Richie. I'm not saying I don't like him. I think as a person, he's a great person. I think as a player, I like him. But it ain't happening for him. Like, it just isn't happening. And whether that's... I think he looked better under Anders than he does under Thomas Frank. Perhaps it is just the demands on him are just his limitations.
That closing down being an absolute nuisance up front.
Yeah.
That he was under Ange. Yeah, that suited him. Because he was not necessarily expected to go and score all the goals.
No, and we do...
He was expected to go and make a real nuisance of himself.
And we do also play longer, more direct now to him, and he can't hold the ball up. It's just not his strength.
No.
There
was one opportunity he had where he took the header and Dane Scarlett was right behind him.
Yeah.
And he absolutely screwed it. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, Dane was actually in a better position.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
frustrating all round. But look, we did win the game 4-0. It was a much improved performance. I don't think Copenhagen were very good. But it will give the side confidence ahead of going into the next game. And the next game is a lunchtime kickoff against your beloved Manchester United at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the Premier League, where our record is so great. Yay. Man United are going to want to beat us more than anything because of the Europa League final and the fact we beat them 4 times last year. Our home form is atrocious. Our record in the lunchtime kickoffs after European games is atrocious, and our record before an international break is atrocious. So 1-0 Spurs.
All good, I reckon 3-0.
Yeah. So that's a potential painful one coming up. Now, after the international break, our first game back is the 23rd of November, where we play Arsenal. Painful. But just before we wrap the show, we do actually have a few comments from people.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
Now, what we have here is a couple of things that have been sent in. But I can't, I think they were sent in after Chelsea, before Copenhagen. So, James Campbell says, I have 2 questions for the podcast. Why do we only seem to be able to get results on the road? And do you think Thomas Frank will survive the year? Do you want to do one or both of those?
Thomas Frank surviving the year, does he mean the season or does he mean literally January transfer market? Because if we play like we have done against the European games, then all is fine. If we play how we did against Chelsea or Bournemouth or Wolves, then you would think it's quite a struggle. I mean, after the Chelsea game, I think I put in our group chat, we carry on like this, he ain't going to make the January transfer market.
Barring let's say he has his, let's say against Manchester United this weekend, we play like we did against Chelsea, but Vicario doesn't have as good a game and we're 3-4-0 down. I genuinely think the atmosphere and everything might be so toxic. Like I said, I know that Daniel Levy would then be pulling the trigger. This isn't working, we need to make a change. But look at where we are in the league. Yes, we're out the League Cup, but we are, we just won in the Champions League. I don't think he's under any immediate pressure, personally. Barring, but the thing is that can change so quickly, because you do have this international break. You lose badly against Man United, there's going to be a real groundswell of anger, because then all of a sudden the Copenhagen game's forgotten. It's Chelsea, the Man United game, back-to-back home games. Your next game is then away to the best side in Europe right now in Arsenal, our local rivals. You get thumped in that game, which is a real possibility playing the way we are, then all of a sudden that narrative switches pretty friggin' fast. But I don't think today, as I'm saying this, he's under any threat, really, before January, anyway.
No, I don't think January. I think end of the season, if we're not doing well, possibly. But January, no.
So why do I think we're better on the road? Simply because the way we're set up. I think last season you got to kind of write off, although there's a lot of results like where we lost games, the injuries and the priority shifted to Europe. I think you got to kind of write that off. So if you just base it purely on what we've seen under Thomas Frank since he came in, away from home, our system works. At home, I don't think he's got that right yet. I think the balance is way off. I think the confidence in the team is poor. And I think the home fans have watched so many paying, by the way, the highest prices in the league to watch the worst team at home in the league. The only team rivaling us for a worse home record's West Ham. So we're like a running track away from being that shit. Sean Palmetter says, this was after the Chelsea game. My 2 cents. One of the worst matches I've seen us play in years. On the back foot from kickoff, no plan, horrible passing, and these long balls to Richie seems like as long as he jumps, he feels like he's made an effort, but that's it. Corners went straight to the keeper's hands. It's as if we'd never played together before. Don't get me started on Xavi. Is it Frank or is it our poor recruitment earlier on? We look soft out there. I think there are certain combinations of things where... So just to try and address some of this, Xavi is still adjusting to the league. I want everyone to be patient. I know... I know sometimes that doesn't work out, like Ndombele didn't work out, but I really think that there's a player there that all of us are going to enjoy, like a real Tottenham player, a real flair, creative player, and against Copenhagen we saw that in the opening 45 minutes. Although new boy Ryan thought he was shite, whereas he won man of the match. Every pundit in fan there and every metric of statistical analysis tells you he had a great game, but no,
he was shit. He's not done anything.
But newbie Ryan says he was awful. Just goes to show.
At half time, he did also say it was an awful watch of football.
Yeah, that was a bizarre take. I think he needs to either drink more or drink less. We'll have to discuss that with him. But yeah, I think our recruitment last season was atrocious. And I don't mean the players. What I mean is so for example, Ange Postecoglou in his first season was given Maddison, Van de Ven, players who were ready. They were first team, ready to go, Vicario, etc. Yeah. In his second season, he was given Archie Gray, Lucas Berval, Odebert. He was given teenagers and basically go for it, see what you can do. And we all saw the squad depth issues and problems like that. That has not been addressed. This summer, I think we made some smart signings, I really do. But we are still woefully short. Destiny Udogie is so much better balance for the team by being just left-footed that we look night and day when he's playing left-back. Now, don't get me wrong, Jed Spence last season was phenomenal at left-back. But he was inverted. Like, the Ange Postecoglou tactic meant that it completely nullified the fact he was using his right foot all the time because he was moving into that central position all the time. So he was collecting the ball on his right. He wasn't beating people on the outside. He was coming in. He was underlapping, not overlapping. So he wasn't having to cut back all the time. Whereas Destiny can go outside, inside, everywhere he bloody wants to go because he's naturally left-footed like Van de Ven. The balance really works. Spence is a phenomenal fullback and should be being rotated in that side with Porro. Like, Porro is a damn machine, but he's going to break down at some point, and we can't keep pushing him to the limits that we are.
To that point, yeah.
So we have got 2 very good fullbacks that are right-footed in the squad. We have one fullback fit with Ben Davis as the potential cover, who just isn't a fullback anymore, and he knows it himself. He's a left-sided central defender who only really looks good in a 3 now, and that's not Ben Davis's fault. Like, we renewed his contract, whereas our recruitment should have been focused on we need a left back. to suit Thomas Frank's system, to compete with Destiny Udogie, we need a left back, and that should have been a main focus of our recruitment, and it wasn't.
No, you're right. That was... Yeah, we missed out on that one, I think. We're trying to find the right player.
We weren't even looking, and that's maddening to me. Like, there are so... Like, I'm just gonna say one thing off the top of my head. Do you know who the Sunderland left back is?
Dennis Kirkin.
Okay. Dennis...
Kirkin?
Yeah.
Kirkin?
Do you know why I'm bringing him up?
We had an option to buy him back this summer, didn't we?
We didn't have an option to buy him back, no. That's not accurate.
Oh, I thought we had
No.
like a transfer thing we had up to this summer.
No.
Okay, go on.
He is not only a homegrown player in the UK, he's club trained for us. A problem that we have. And he is a Premier League level left back. You only got to look at Sunderland's performances this season to see that he is Premier League level. He just is.
Yes.
He was available to us, would have come back, would have happily come back to Spurs. It's a deal that just didn't get done. At 25, 30 million, would have brought him back. I'll tell you what you're probably thinking of is we do have a sell-on, which could have brought that down. That's probably
that's what I may be thinking of. Yeah.
So with that being said, like, there's like a no-brainer there. Like, I know because we were being linked with Carl Walker-Peters, who of course, like Jed, can cover right and left back, but again, he's predominantly right-footed, whereas Dennis is there. He's an international now. He's playing week in, week out in the Premier League, proving his point. He would have been classed as club trained, so he could have been in the Champions League squad. It just makes me want to drive my head through a wall that no one looked at that and went, "That's the most obvious transfer in the world." But let's do this deal here and let's do that deal there. It frustrates me. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's probably some data there that tells them why it's a bad idea, but just from my point of view, is frustrating. So, I think recruitment definitely plays a part. I don't want to get into my personal opinion on Thomas Frank and tactics because it's well known and I just keep getting crap for it, but you can all make your own minds up. And finally, we have a comment from someone with their own theme, and because it's November, this is going to hit brilliantly.
Now it's time for a comment from Ireland Brother.
That was lovely. He says, "Hello Spurs news team. It's been a minute. Hope all are doing well. Just had a funny interaction I thought I'd pass on. I saw two Muppets high-five each other under the hot Caribbean sun while shouting top of the table. They were dressed in red, and my internal gag must have been an external one as well, for they proceeded to ask what my problem was. I replied they should enjoy it while it lasts, and my European champion club was in third position." At the time he said this, obviously. "I waited and watched the realisation hit their faces and walked away like the end of the Breakfast Club shouting the Mun supporting Tottenham. It was glorious, awaiting the next pod eagerly. Come on, you Spurs."
I've missed that, man.
Yes, that's epic, and it wasn't a question, but it just needed to be said. That's where I'm going to wrap the show. It is an international break coming up after Manchester United, so we will be taking a break as well. A few people messaged in like, "Why are you doing that? There's stuff to talk about." Yes, there is, but I also have a job. Like, I've got a lot going on, people, so it's just every now and again I'm taking a break. Like, chill, alright? Like, if something mad happens, I'll blow the dust off the mic, we'll be here, but come on, we're probably going to lose the Man United. I don't want to talk about that, because I'll be here with Stefan, who loves them, and he'll be, like, all gloaty and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, that is our show for this week. Thank everybody for listening, as always. We will be back. Keep an eye on the Facebook page. We'll be announcing when we're back on, ready after the international break. Until then, everybody, you all take care.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.